Aaron with you this Tuesday. Thanks for your company. Now, I'm very excited about my next guest because I've got a question to ask him. My dog, over the last 2 days, right, we go on the same walk. Well, not the same walk in the morning, but like first thing in the morning, it's often, I live by the countryside, it's beautiful. But the last 2 days in a row, my dog has decided to walk home on his own. Now, it's only about a 30-second walk from the edge to my road because I live on that road. But he looks at me and he's almost smiling at me going, "It's all right, Daddy. I'll take myself home. I'll do you a favour." You're not doing me a favour, mate. It's making me panic a little bit, but we'll get to that. Because I want to know what your dog is like in the car. Does he sit upright in his harness on the back seat, looking out the window, taking the world around him, paws out the window, tongue in the air? Or does he bounce around like a hyperactive problem child or pebble in a tin can? Well, if it's the latter, you need to know this because every loose dog in a moving car is a weapon and the death toll is rising. So in a 30-mile-per-hour crash, a 20-kilogram dog, cock spaniel size, my field's actually 22. So yeah, that's big, becomes a 600-kilogram missile. Well, who knows what damage that could do to your beloved pet, yourself, your children, others? Well, some research has been done into it, what has been described as the new dogs in hot cars crisis. And Adam Femi is a dog behaviorist and expert on dog anxiety, which is going to be good for me, actually. Adam, welcome. What can you tell us about this research?
Thank you, Aaron. So new research from Tavo has found that 59% of motorists in the UK have travelled with their dogs unrestrained. And 40% of motorists have been distracted by their dogs whilst driving. This is a huge concern. And as you said, you pointed out some important points there, that dogs can be dangerous in cars, that the power of a dog coming forward across from the back seat. We've seen dogs on parcel shelves in footwells. These are not good positions for our beloved pets to be in. And think about your dog like you. I'm a dad, I've got 2 children. Think about your dog in the car like I would you would your children. I'd never, ever put them in loose, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't think of doing it, would you? So why do you think we think it's okay? Because I've been in a park car, and I'll be honest, I strap him in when we go. But when we're not moving, all of a sudden he'll be wanting to run onto your lap and things. And I'm sorry, but I think a lot of us have done this. You might make the mistake of, say, driving to the next little car parking space or something like that. Do you know, where you're not going on roads and the dogs are all over the place?
So why? The answer to that could be for a number of reasons. Some dogs like yours may be anxious. You were saying about a little bit of the running home on the end of a walk, going back to what he knows. It can be separation issues, so people can't restrain their dog in another part of the car because the dog wants to be with them. So we can look at behaviour. We can look at maybe naivety from owners as well, just putting the dog in, thinking cars are designed for us, right? The seats are for our bottoms, backsides, not necessarily for dogs. So it's important that we think about the way we travel with our dogs, the setup in the car for our dog's life stage, physiology, and our dog's behaviour.
So what is the best thing to do? Because I have been through, I think, 4 different straps in the back of my car, and he doesn't necessarily eat them when I'm there. It's when I nip into the shop or something like that. I come back and he's eating himself out of a seatbelt. I know many other people have had the same, where they've tried the headrest restraints, the ones that go into the seatbelt, or the ones where they go round their neck and all of a sudden they can get quite tangled very quick.
Sure. So we're looking for those modern day products, of course, and make sure you do your research on the individual products. Think about your dog's behavior too, right? So it might not be the product. It might be because your dog is stressed. That restraint can be a problem. It could be a front door at home that your dog's worried about going behind. When you go in the car, it becomes the seat belt, right? So dogs with separation anxiety could see this as a problem. And it might mean that we need to seek professional behavioral advice with a behaviorist that's qualified to help us help the dog relax in the car. We might practice with the products before we even go into the car or on a journey.
All right. So yeah, I guess that's it, isn't it? A lot of what we do with our dog is about repetition, isn't it? It's about repetition and practice and getting them used to it. And it's putting in that work.
100%. Being positive, repetition, helping our dogs understand what we want from them. The modern day dog, we ask so much of them, Aaron, from traveling to Airbnbs now. You said you were going from the town, countryside to the town. We're looking at things like pubs, cafes. We weren't taking dogs to these places in the same way 20 years ago, right? We weren't traveling with dogs in the way that we do today. And it's really important that we look at the products that are available to us and make sure that we set our dogs up safely, make sure we're safe as well within the car. We don't want to be doing things like tying dogs to gear sticks, having them out of windows. 26% of motorists allow their dog in this current, with the research that has been done by Tavo, they allowed their dogs to have their heads out the window, Aaron. And this is extremely dangerous. We could be seeing eye damage, dogs reacting to members of the public, trying to chase cyclists or deliveries even.
Well, what about a little peephole in the car? If they are strapped in, can I have the window open a little bit so he can put his little beak out?
So definitely ventilation coming into the car, but we don't want the muzzle out, the beak out, as you'd say there, because we could be getting clipped by trees. Like I said, we could have a dog that gets hit by another vehicle, for example, when we're going at that speed. So really, if the dog's got its head out the window, it means it's not really restrained in the right way because it's standing up, head out the window. You wouldn't let a baby just put his little nose out the window. Think of it like that.
I don't know. I was brought up in the 80s and 90s. I was out the window. No, I understand it. It's there. It's a snuffle gap is what I call it.
I think that's a point, though, there, Aaron. What you've got to remember there is, the 80s, the 90s, and even before that, seatbelts have come in strong. We know the damage that can be caused on impact if we don't wear seatbelts. It's religious for us now to put that seatbelt on when we get in the vehicle, and we strap up children and all of those sorts of things. We do this without even thinking about it now. We probably weren't doing that 50 years ago. Like, we know cars are quicker, cars move faster, roads are busier, and it's important that we keep up to speed with that, with the products we use with our dogs within the vehicle.
I hate to ask this sort of question, but I'm going to. Do you think it makes, if you're in a high-speed crash, does it make a lot of difference?
Definitely with the modern products, we're going to be seeing that these are ISOFIX tested. Okay, they have been designed, crash tested. That's something that's important when we're looking for products with our animals, making sure that they can cope with impact. We're also thinking about our dogs. If we did in the unfortunate scenario of having a crash or a bump, can the service people from the police or the fire brigade help get our dog out of the car safely? Can they restrain the dog? It might be under stress at that point. Okay, so if our dog maybe doesn't like strangers without being in a vehicle, if we had a bump or a crash or we had to stop on a motorway, can we safely get our dogs out of the car, keep them cool, keep them well ventilated? All of these sorts of things is where the products could help.
Just finally, I've got to ask this because actually, no, first I'll say, where do we get more information about this, the dogs and cars?
So TavoPets.com can be very important. Do your research within all of the products that are available. You can speak to your a local vet. Also, we could be looking at behaviorists to help too. So do your research, take a good look around. But yeah, make sure the product is crash tested.
Right, now finally, last 2 days, I've been on the same walk, right? My dog has done this walk since he was born, 20 months, right? But we've only lived on this road since last October. Nevertheless, last 2 days, he gets to a certain point and he looks at me. His recall, I'd say, is 99%. He is great when we go on walks out. But there were a few trigger points. One is a little doggy beach where all of a sudden he saw some kids there on a bike. So I know what that trigger is and I'm going to get over that one. But the other one is on the way home. He's never done this before, but he's just looked at me and gone, I'm going. And I've had to like walk after him down the street. And you look right when you're walking after your dog. So I'm getting judged. Luckily, the road's really quiet, but I have no idea what to do with this one.
Okay, so firstly, we want to make sure our dog is on a lead throughout the walk. You could even use a long line if we're in a park or open area, but we want to make sure it's safe first so the dog can't escape us, go across the road to get home. We might look at other behaviours. As I spoke to you earlier on, we talked about the separation issues that we may have been having. We might be seeing this dog has a trigger that we don't know about, maybe a noise from a bike backfiring or a car. So the dog now knows where home is. It's a safe place. It might be getting back towards that area and then rushing back to be secure in the safe place. So definitely seek professional behavior advice, but make it safe first with your lead on or your long line on. We want to make sure we've got positive reinforcers like treats or a toy that we could use at that point to keep the dog with us get home, through the treats and the toy, and then we could take the lead off safely.
Yeah, no, I hear you with that, but look, I can take him anywhere off lead, and I will always let him be off lead. I'm just a big believer in that. He needs to be a dog. He's a spaniel as well. So, but it just seems weird that it's the last 2 days that he's done it. But this afternoon, I've taken him on 2 walks today. The first one, he took himself home. The second one, he didn't. It just seems to be an ad hoc thing of him. I swear he thinks he's doing a favour, but he's really not.
I think the thing there to do is to be consistent from an owner point of view. Whenever we're looking at any behavioural issue or problem, consistency is key. We need to make sure it's safe, like I said, because it could be a trigger that you're not aware of. It could be a noise. It could be another dog, or like you said, the children on the bike. So they might be there one day and not the other. But keep the consistency with your lead. Yes, he must go off the lead, like you were saying. He's a spaniel. He must hunt and work. Potentially within the pet scene, we might be looking at doing that differently. It might be chasing a ball rather than a bird if it was a gun dog, right? So if we use the lures correctly, and we make sure that we understand what our dog's doing. You also noted that your dog was never really running off. He's got good recall. That might show that this dog's quite clingy, hyper attached. But obviously when he gets worried there, he breaks that recall and off he goes home. So positive rewards, set the scene safely, and practice makes perfect.
Magic. Adam, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you, Aaron.